I was raised with the love of nature, and what started out as a passion project is evolving into an incredibly rewarding journey aimed at preserving natural heritage across the African continent for future generations to come. As the world's population explodes, protection of our natural resources has become crucial. Rhino poaching, for example, has reached catastrophic proportions, and the species is critically endangered as a result. With rhino horn fetching more than gold, this illicit trade is controlled by highly sophisticated organised crime and terrorist groups. PACSys has been one of the driving forces behind the agricultural technology revolution in South Africa over the past 7 years, and now we're turning our attentions to the conservation space. The incredible technology is now available from the likes of DJI. The world's largest consumer drone manufacturer can make a significant impact, not only in anti-poaching efforts, but in other conservation areas such as wildlife management and tracking, ecological surveys, and alien vegetation identification and control. We're also extremely proud of our proprietary drone-mounted animal tracking system called PACSys, which drastically reduces the time and cost associated with RF tracking of tagged animals.
So drone technology has come so far. Initially when we considered looking at using drones, the technology was so poor and there's so many limitations. Now the technology is absolutely enhanced so much. Seeing how the drones operate for the last 2 months and the PACSys team, it was absolutely shocking to me how much use we got out of the drones. It also allows us to make an assessment of a situation without necessarily now calling in the whole cavalry and everything that costs so much money. We had a report of an injured black rhino the other day that looked like it may have been shot. So we went there with the drone. Obviously, black rhino going in on foot to an animal potentially wounded is very high risk, dangerous for the team, and we were able to, at a fair distance, put the drone up, have an assessment or look at the animal in detail and realize that it was actually not injured. Every other day, we ended up having to run after either a cheetah that's escaped the park and is now killing goats on the other side of the fence, causing a lot of livestock damage. And using the thermal drone in that application was absolutely incredible because we could find the cat, get veterinarians to site to try and capture. Alternatively, we would have played a call up and sat for days and days and weeks on end out there hoping that she responds to a bait and capture her. And I think what would have happened is that the community would have potentially just killed her because it would have taken us too long to be able to catch that animal. We also did a lot of night patrols. I went out with Craig the one evening and we found a rhino with a tire around its face. Again, the thermal drone was incredible because we could clearly see a whole moving rhino lying down, but there was this black band across its face, or just absence of heat, basically. And we, after some figuring out, realized that it had probably managed to get its head stuck in a tire. And if it wasn't for the drone and that we were doing those patrols, we would not have found that rhino. That animal would have probably not been able to feed properly because it can't open its mouth, it can't drink, and it can't see. So we would have lost that rhino had we not picked it up on the drone. Similarly so, looking for or mapping areas, new roads, vegetation is critical. I think the amount of use we're going to get out of mapping with the vegetation with drones means we don't have to necessarily even go out and do vegetation assessments anymore.
So these specific drones have had quite a major impact. I've been introduced to drones many years ago, but the technology's increased significantly, and the new drones that we're implementing now is extremely beneficial, mainly of course for myself. The nighttime and thermal capabilities is a massive game changer, and the flight time that's increased drastically over the years, being able to see at night completely changes everything. In the few weeks that we've been operating with them now, there's been multiple occasions where we've been able to, one, deter possible threats coming in. I can say confirmed threats. We had visual of suspects with a big pack of dogs on their way into the reserve. literally hovered above them. They looked up, saw the drone and turned around and walked in the other direction. There was a second incident where we also managed to capture a photograph of dog poachers that already took out a warthog, and we responded to the GPS location of this camera with a drone, and we managed to deter them. Unfortunately didn't make an arrest on this occasion. They were quite far away, but they dropped the warthog kill, so we disrupted and deterred them. And to me that's still a success, and it's making it harder for these suspects to come in and making it more challenging because they're not getting away with what they're trying to get out with. In the past we would have to drive around with vehicles using torches to shine, but in patrolling in this manner, it's still a presence patrol. It can be effective and it has to be done, but you give away your position, the vehicles make noise, the spotlights shine exactly where you are, and it's actually quite easy to evade these presence patrols. But with the use of a thermal drone, we could be stationed in one area, send the drone up and do a sweep all around in each direction. If we're moving at night or even in daytime, having visual from above that could potentially alert the rangers of big game threats in front or ahead of them, or of course walking into a possible ambush or getting close to the suspects, we can communicate from very far away, alerting the teams that there might be a buffalo, any big game or lions in the area. That's also extremely beneficial in terms of the safety of the operation.
The problem is going forward is we actually can't operate without a drone, because every time something happens we're like, well let's just get the drones in, because it is applicable to almost everything we do from a wildlife, a law enforcement, conservation application perspective. I think one of the things people must realize is having a team to operate it that are at your disposal at any hour is critical, and a team that's efficient. And working with the PACSys team has been absolutely incredible. The guys work day and night. I mean, if 2-3 hours sleep every day was probably a lot compared to most days not sleeping. And patrolling over full moon, the guys are dedicated and absolutely love what they do.
Thanks very much to Karen and her team at the Manyoni Private Game Reserve in KwaZulu-Natal for giving us the opportunity to support their operations. At Manyoni, we've seen firsthand the game-changing power of drones, tracking wildlife, enhancing security and transforming how conservation teams work. But this is just the beginning. From the savannas of Africa to every corner of the wild, our technology is rewriting the future of conservation. Together, we're not just watching history unfold, we're making it. This is conservation reimagined.